Sony Xperia 1 Mark V after a week. It's hard to believe I've had this for a week. Time goes by really fast, I guess, when you're having a good time. But I made quite a few videos about this, and a lot of it's because it's my new favorite phone. And it's not just because this is the spur of the moment, it's the latest thing on the block. I've been a big fan of the Sony phones for the last couple of years, starting with the Xperia 1 Mark III, then to the 4. I love the 4, but of course, we've talked about this. It had a lot of heating issues, especially with the camera and the video. So basically, all the complaints I had were fixed in this phone. So that's the most important thing. Using it for the last week, I just want to share some of my experience with you. So some of the things that I really appreciate about it, I like this textured back. Especially because there's not a whole lot of accessories. You can get the official case through Sony for like $40. It has the kickstand on it. I didn't buy that. One, I don't really like to buy $40 cases, and two, it didn't look that great. But to my surprise, this Caseology case that I have for my Xperia 1 Mark IV actually works on here just fine. The only difference is on the top, one of the microphones, no, microphone's in the same spot. Yeah, so it fits and it works on my Xperia 1 Mark V just like it does on my Mark IV. And I'll have a link for this in the description. I can't remember exactly the name of it. I gotta go dig through my Amazon history. But I like this case. But if you're not using the case, this is the best Xperia yet because it has this textured cover on it. It's actually textured glass. It's Gorilla Glass Victus 2. So how they did that, I don't even know. And then they've got these contoured edges on the side. So if you like to go caseless with your phone, then voila, this is the best version yet to do it with. The camera, the primary camera does seem to be improved. I've really enjoyed the shots that I've been able to take with it. I still need to get out and do a lot more photography with it so I can finish my final review for this next week. Sadly, I have to send this back to Sony, so that's unfortunate. I thought I was going to get to keep it, but, well, I did. So, just an update. I went ahead and I pre-ordered it today myself. So, I put my money where my mouth is with this. I like this phone. It's a $1,399 phone. I ordered it today. Unfortunately, it's not going to be here till like July the 28th. So I think I'll have just maybe another week or two, and I'll continue to make some content. I'll have my full review. But yeah, I like this enough that I went ahead and bought it. And I've got the S23 Ultra here. Y'all have seen the comparison video. So I'll still continue to use that periodically to make content. But yeah, this will be my daily driver. And yeah, I've been using the headphone jack. It's funny because a company by the name of KOSS, they actually sent me like this gift box of stuff because I was looking at their wireless earbuds, and there's actually a nice set of wired headphones. They kind of remind me of the retro ones, and I've actually been jamming out with those for the last couple of days. So it's nice being able to wear just this light retro set of headphones. So yeah, the headphone jack I think is still viable, especially if you've got a favorite pair of headphones that you want to wear. So I like the textured back, like the headphone jack. Battery life is okay. So I wanted to get through a week before I talked about the battery life in any detail, just because, well, you got to give it at least about 5 days for the battery life, the adaptive battery to kick in and stuff. So it's done that. I've been using it for the last 2 days now, all day long, and I get about a little over 6 hours of battery life, maybe 6.5 tops. So it gets to about 20% for me at about the 5 hour and 45 minute mark. So that means you got an extra 20% to work with. So it'll definitely get 6 hours of screen on for a long time, and I had it on light mode. So I'm going to try it out with dark mode and see what kind of a difference it makes. But with 120 hertz brightness on, with 120 hertz refresh rate on, the brightness up pretty high. I don't use adaptive brightness. I didn't really do a whole lot to try and save any battery. Like, I wanted to run it how I normally run my phone, which is basically not a whole lot of battery saving measures intact. And yeah, I get a little over 6 hours, 6.5 hours is fine. You'll have probably about 10% left. I'm going to try it with dark mode. It does have dark mode, so that's something that is there you can take advantage of that will help save you some battery life because, of course, when you're trying to display white pixels, it uses a lot more energy. So there's that. 120 hertz refresh rate, I like it a lot. It's not on by default. Make sure you go into your display and you turn that on if and when you get one of these, and it is really nice. So I like that. The NFC, someone asked me because they saw in a picture this little dot here that actually shows you where the NFC location is. That's really helpful. And they did that with the Xperia 1 Mark IV as well. So you can see it on the back there. That way you know where the NFC is. So that way if you need to use it on like a wireless contact payment system, or if you're going to try and file share something, then you need that. The fingerprint sensor, I really like it. It is better. So one problem I had with the Xperia 1 Mark IV is the fingerprint sensor would activate a lot in my pocket. So even though I hadn't tried to use it, I would pull my phone out. It's like, oh, you've had too many attempts. So it seems like they've fixed it a little bit. I've only had that problem maybe like once. So just the fact that they were able to fix that and they've been cognizant of that, that's nice, because now when I pull it out of my pocket, it pretty much always works. And that's important because there's no facial recognition on this phone. Do I think it needs it? Yes and no. Like, I don't really care for it. I don't use it in most of my phones, but it is something that I think for a $1,400 phone, it should really have. So if you are wanting that feature, yeah, you probably don't want this phone because there's no facial recognition. The cameras are good. Battery life, for what it does, like, this phone doesn't really hold any punches. It's not like Samsung where there's so much built in the UI, a lot of throttling and different things going on to save power where you can and cannot. This one doesn't really do a whole lot of that. It doesn't, I guess Sony doesn't believe in automated stuff and killing stuff in the background or whatever, but it basically runs at full throttle. 4K resolution on the screen, speakers are good, and yeah, charging speed, I wish it were a little bit faster, but 30 watts is okay. I mean, it gets it recharged. I think it's been about an hour and a half or so, but I don't have to charge it until the evening time. So what usually happens is I'll get in bed or I'll do something and I'll plug it in on my nightstand, and then I'm good to go that way. Of course, it has wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, and with the pre-order, if you get it through Sony or you get it through Best Buy, they give you the Sony Link Buds and like a $50 credit or gift card of some sort. I pre-ordered it through Sony. I don't really have any thoughts or feelings on these Link Buds. I'll test them out whenever I get them. I may even make a video. I've not tried them before, but they look pretty neat. It's an interesting concept. But overall, like, 1 week with the phone, it's been really nice to have it back. And I really like the form factor on here. It's so easy to use one-handed. I wish there were more aftermarket accessories because there's just really not very many at all. And the ones that are available are really crummy, like third-party cases. I'm hoping as it gets more out there, because of course it's just now becoming available, I think, in the UK, and the US is not going to be available till I think the end of July. So maybe we'll have some more accessories available by then. I'd really like to have like a nice leather case for it. And a lot's going to happen between now and then. But so far, I've really been enjoying it. The 5G has been nice. 5G working great consistently. Good speeds, no problems there. And yeah, it's been really nice to have it back. I really enjoy the Sony phones. Like I said, if y'all have watched my videos, if you followed my channel, you knew how much I loved the Xperia 1 Mark IV last year. My only regret is there's no purple this year. There's like a khaki green color and a black color in the US. So I ordered the khaki green one. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, after a week, battery life has been good enough. The heat, hardly there at all. The only times I've noticed it, you will notice it gets warm if you're using it while it's plugged in. It does after a little while. You can feel it starts to get warm while it's plugged in if you're using it. Probably is if you're not using it. I didn't pick it up and check. But yeah, there's that. And if you use it for a really long time, it feels like I was using it for probably well over an hour, just looking at the screen and doing stuff, and I felt that it started to get a little warm. I don't know why it was doing that. I was just doing random normal stuff that's not really putting it under any load, I guess. And it was mostly around the edges. I think it had more with just the screen being on for so long than anything, especially when I have it on full brightness. Like, I pretty much always have my screen pretty high on the brightness, sometimes even full brightness. So if you probably have it on 60, 70% brightness, like, is probably more responsible. That probably wouldn't even happen. But yeah, that's kind of my take on it. After a week, they've fixed all the complaints I had on it. I really enjoy this phone. I'm sad I have to send this one back to Sony, but I'm glad I got this time to spend with it. I'll still have it probably another week or two to do my full review and do some other video stuff I want to do with it. I did pre-order my own with my own money. So yeah, this is something that I'm going to be using a lot for the next year. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll get back with you. If there's anything you're curious about for the full review, then I'll probably wrap up by the end of next week. Then let me know about that as well. If there's something that you would specifically want to see, I'll try my best. And yeah, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.